you're in a marriage crisis. Your wife is pulling away, and the people who love you the most step in with advice. Buy her flowers or an expensive present. Take her on a nice trip. That'll fix it, and she will remember how much she loves you. Lay down the law and show her who's boss. Or maybe even, she doesn't respect you, just walk away. You're hurting, so that advice feels comforting. It feels like they've got your back. Here's the problem. There is a high percentage chance none of them actually understand how attraction works. They mean well, but their advice is rooted in what society teaches about love, not what actually sustains it. Movies, social media, even well-meaning family members all push the idea that love is about grand gestures, problem fixing with logic, or just powering through conflict by talking about it endlessly. And because they love you, you assume they must be right. But love and leadership are not the same thing. A marriage or relationship doesn't break down because of a missing trip to Mexico. Trust me, I have firsthand experience in that pain. They don't fall apart because you didn't buy enough flowers. It falls apart when polarity and emotional safety are lost. The truth is, the people you love, even if they mean well, don't know how to guide you back to a thriving relationship. So in this video, I'm going to break down why their advice can feel good in the moment, but it's built on myths, how it actually sabotages your marriage without you realizing it, and the counterintuitive truth about attraction and leadership your wife needs from you if you want to rebuild your relationship. Let's get into it. So friends and family obviously love you, so they jump in. They see you in pain, and their instinct is to protect you. Their advice feels good because it can validate your pain and give solutions to something seemingly complex. The problem is they don't see the whole picture. They don't necessarily know the private dynamics between you and your wife. And I can confidently say that for about 90 to 95% of people in the world, it honestly might be even higher, they don't understand how attraction, polarity, and emotional safety work. Think about it. If your buddy went through a divorce, he's speaking through his wounds. He's projecting his story onto yours. If your mom or sister gives advice, they're speaking from a more protective, nurturing lens and generally not understanding what draws feminine energy back into masculine leadership. And if coworkers or acquaintances throw in their 2 cents, it's often based on social cliches like happy wife, happy life, or the Hollywood idea that love dies unless you keep it romantic with big, constant gestures. And while gestures and romance are great, and they are something to continue to do with your wife when the relationship is going well, it does nothing in terms of building back up lost respect or attraction after a downturn in the marriage. This is why their advice is comforting but dangerous. On the outside, it's well-meaning and it sounds easy to execute, and it validates your side of the story. But it doesn't fix the issue, and most of the time makes it worse because it really just communicates that you have no idea how to lead things back to a thriving state. Let's look at 3 most common ways that friends and family sabotage you without meaning to. They encourage logic over leadership. This is the whole, just sit down and explain yourself better. But your wife isn't disconnected because she doesn't understand your logic. She's disconnected because she doesn't feel your strength, and to be more precise, you don't understand her emotions and what's required to nurture those. Second, they push gestures over presence. This is a plan a trip, buy flowers, or do something big to prove or remind her of your love. This was the turning point in my painful story when things were turning rocky with my ex-fiance, so I took her on a nice luxury vacation to a resort in Mexico and was dumped 2 days after returning. Doing the grand gestures like we see in Hollywood movies and shows is not only approval-seeking behavior, it's trying to use gestures to close an emotional gap in the relationship. She's intuitive enough to know that these gestures are done out of panic and uncertainty, not with emotional grounding. So what happens is the gestures just feel like more pressure to her and hinder connection further. And the third most common way friends and family sabotage your marriage without meaning it is that they promote reactivity instead of actual clarity. This is advising you to tell her it's your way or the highway, or just the opposite. You just back off. She'll come around if you just leave her alone. These are both reactive in nature, and neither shows steady leadership. Another hidden danger is that if she knows that you are getting outside advice from friends or family, and the more you act on that outside advice, the more she sees you as a man who doesn't trust himself. Think about it. If every move you make comes from what your mom, your friend, or what divorced Roger from the office said to do, what does that tell her? It tells her you're not the man she can trust to lead her, or at least you're not acting like that and haven't been acting like that man for a long time. And that right there is why respect slips further and further away in the relationship. Here's what most people, including myself for a long time in my younger years, never understand. Attraction is not logical. It's not about checking boxes or agreeing on everything. It's about polarity, the tension between your masculine leadership and her feminine trust. That is attraction at its core. And when polarity is lost, her feelings of being in love completely collapse. So when your family says, just explain your side better, they don't realize logic rarely makes her feel safe or attracted. When your friends say, man, just give her some space, she's gonna come around, they don't realize pulling away without leadership creates more emotional distance. And when people say, take her on a trip or buy her something expensive, they don't realize gestures without grounded presence only feel like a manipulation tactic. Society and pop culture teach us that women want constant compromise, endless talking, and flowers, not just on Valentine's Day, but every day. And while gestures matter, like I did mention earlier, they're not what rebuilds attraction. A hard pill to swallow for men in your position who want to make change is that you cannot outsource leadership. Your wife doesn't want your dad's version of strength. She doesn't want your best friend's opinion running your marriage, and her nervous system doesn't respond to Hollywood's script for how a man wins her back. She wants you, the grounded, steady, clear man that she fell in love with years ago. And that's where most men miss her. They think, if I just try harder, if I just do what everyone else tells me, and if I just wait long enough, she'll come back. But attraction doesn't come back because of time or other people's strategies. It comes back when you reclaim the clarity, presence, and you have proper direction. When you stop outsourcing your decisions and start leading from your values, polarity starts to build again. She feels the safety to relax into her feminine, and that's what reignites spark. But you have to take action now to understand what women truly respond to, the intricacies of attraction, and how to lead properly in your relationship. This is exactly what I provide for you step by step in my Relationship Rebuild program. And if you are somebody in this position and want to try something different and what actually works, your first step is to watch my free masterclass, which you can find the link for in the description below. The reality is you can't stop people from giving you advice, but you can stop from letting it run your marriage. Here are a few quick filters of leadership that you can use when your marriage is very turbulent and advice is bestowed upon you by the ones you love. Before you act on advice, ask yourself. The first filter is intention. Is this advice I'm getting about protecting me or rebuilding connection in my marriage? The second filter is alignment. Does this advice match my values and the man I want to become, not just the one someone suggests works? And finally, the third filter is impact. Will this advice make your wife feel safer and more respected, or more pressured and confused? If it fails the filters, you don't act on it. Simple as that. So to give you an example, your buddy says, man, just ignore her for a week, she'll chase you. So filter 1, intention. The advice is more about control, not connection. Filter 2, alignment. I mean, that isn't the man I want to be, so that is how this would look to me through the alignment filter. And filter 3, the impact. Doing this will make her feel abandoned, not safe. So let's do a quick filter check. Fail, fail, and fail. That's not leadership. That advice is essentially manipulation. Now, compare that to, I'll give her space when she asks for it, but I'll remain calm and consistent when we do interact. No pressure, no collapsing. Bam, passes all 3 filters. That is a component of masculine leadership. So here's the takeaway. Friends and family can support you. They can love you. They can listen, but they cannot lead your marriage. Only you can do that. And when you reclaim that responsibility, not by controlling, not by begging, but actually leading with calm clarity, this is when you're going to start to rebuild that connection and attraction with your wife. This is the heart of what I teach in the full Relationship Rebuild program, and I know it works because I've lived it, and so have many other men. Click the link in the description to watch the free masterclass and take that step, because the right leadership can rebuild respect faster than you really think, and it's virtually impossible to rebuild your marriage without it. The link for that masterclass is in the description, and watch it now if you're serious about saving your marriage. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you guys in the next episode.